Match 68. Bagan vs. Orochi vs. Utsuno Ikusagami by Christian Celibert. The dragon awoke. For centuries the beast had remained in slumber. Once it was the most feared creature in the land, striking fear into the hearts of even the bravest men as it razed their settlements into the ground. Its reign of terror was legendary. And then there was Bagan. For the first time...
Lord.
Yeah.
I was going to say, then it ate Baragon.
Yeah, then it ate Baragon. Another one. For the first time, the dragon itself knew fear. Bagan was everything it was and more. Gods and demons alike.
But more silent.
Yeah. Gods and demons alike fell to his wrath. As much as it infuriated the dragon, it knew it was no match for Bagan's power and retreated into the underworld, where even Bagan couldn't reach it. It was there that the dragon waited for centuries, waiting for the inevitable end of Bagan's reign. Oh man, but if he won, that would have been another story.
Mm-hmm.
But Bagan was nigh invincible, defeating any creature that challenged him. It seemed the mighty monster would never fall. Until recently.
Then he met Tom.
Yeah!
Yes.
Until recently. Faced by an army of monsters, gods, and machines, the almighty Bagan was finally toppled. Not only that, but the beast lost most of its legendary strength. The dragon knew that with Bagan weakened, it was time to strike. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. If you don't get that joke, listen to the behind the scenes when that's out. So, Bagan marched through the forests of Japan, not too far from the country's famous Mountain Fuji. The beast was taking the time to fully recharge from his last battle. Bagan didn't like being this weak, not one bit. His power was a mere fraction of what it once was, but much to the creature's dismay, there was nothing he could do about it. A low growl escaped Bagan's lips. Does he even have lips? I don't think he does. Anyway, if only he had something to vent his rage upon. As if to answer Bagan's desire, the ground began to shake. Pass. Pass.
The soil cracked open, revealing flowing flames underneath. A hellacious roar was heard, and a massive form began to rise up out of the ground. Bagan took a step back, craning his neck up to look at his new arrival, which dwarfed even Biollante in size. Bagan roared at the creature, but his voice was drowned out by the cries of the beast's numerous heads. The evil eyes of Orochi narrowed at Bagan. Roaring furiously, Bagan charged the Hydra, flexing his claws. Orochi responded by spewing streams of flame from several of his mouths, engulfing Bagan in fire. Bagan shrieked as he was struck by the flames. They were far hotter than any fire he had ever encountered before. He backed away from the heat, his skin scorched. Angrily, Bagan returned fire with his plasma breath, striking Orochi directly in the chest. The dragon's heads cried into the air as the white-hot blast seared his flesh. With a speed that bellied his size, Orochi lunged towards Bagan, his many maws open. An endless array of teeth sank into Bagan's body, drawing blood. A strangled cry escaped Bagan's throat as he tried to wrench himself free from Orochi's fanged grip. Orochi's mouths bit down on his throat, keeping him from firing his plasma breath. Bagan's horns crackled with energy, a sight which Orochi ignored. Seconds later, the Hydra realized his mistake as Bagan's diamond storm rained down upon his body, slicing and burning through his flesh. Orochi's mouth released Bagan and screeched in agony, but quickly recovered and
Which mouth?
Oh. Huh. Well then. That's a problem. But quickly recovered and unleashed more searing flames into Bagan's face. The gray monster staggered back, clutching his face as it burned. Orochi lowered several of his heads, then swung them upward, striking Bagan and sending him crashing onto his back. Orochi advanced on...
So, Orochi no longer has one head, but he has more heads now?
He can basically fuse them all into one and go out. It's never stated, but it's a power given by Tom.
But this is Christian.
Yes.
Power given by Christian.
Yeah,
Directed by Tom.
that works. That works. The hierarchy.
Was this once again a deleted scene that's better than the movie?
Dear God. Any case, Orochi advanced on the fallen Bagan, but the horned beast raised his head and fired his plasma breath, striking Orochi at the base of his neck. The Hydra shrieked, stopping in his tracks. Bagan was back on his feet in an instant and leapt at Orochi, clutching two of his necks. Clawing and biting at one neck, Bagan tugged on it with his jaws, spilling yellow blood. Orochi hissed and shrieked at Bagan, but couldn't attack him with his flames without burning himself. Even though the monster apparently lives in hell, he's still hurt by fire. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yanking hard.
Yes, he lives with Kumasagami.
Yeah.
They're actually roommates.
Yeah, they're pretty good
Yes.
roommates.
His roommate
Yankee-
left him, then died.
Kumasagami's like, yes, I get the couch and the entire apartment.
Yeah.
That needs to be a sitcom spinoff.
What is it going to be called? Full Hell? Everywhere you look, everywhere.
It also has that Mecha Godzilla in there. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh God.
Their neighbor.
Mechagodzilla is the Urkel of the show.
Did I do that? And then kill him. But anyways, backing away, Bagan spat the severed neck to the ground, stepping onto its head and crushing it underfoot. Orochi screamed furiously and attacked again, but this time not with his flames. Scarlet lightning shot out from the eyes of four of his heads, blasting Bagan and sending him staggering back. Orochi did not let up, striking Bagan again and again and again and again and again and again with
And
his
again.
thank you, and again with his
And
thunderous energy. Bagan fell to one knee, badly hurt from the attack. Bagan snarled, rage growing within him. Reduced power or not, he refused to be outmatched by this multi-headed reptile. As his regeneration began to heal the wounds inflicted from Orochi's lightning, he rose back to his feet and fired a powerful blast of his plasma breath. The beam struck Orochi hard, blowing through one of his necks in the middle of the limb. The severed neck spiraled down and rolled off Orochi's back. The Hydra charged again, snapping his jaws at Bagan and peppering him with blasts of lightning. Bagan retaliated by summoning the Diamond Storm once more. Orochi cried out as the diamond-shaped blast tore through him once again. One of them punctured through another of the beast's skulls, taking the once 8-headed dragon down to 5. A twisted smile covered Bagan's face as he enjoyed the opponent's suffering. Suddenly, Orochi lunged forward, taking Bagan by surprise, even though this is like the 5th time he's done so.
Yeah.
The horned creature had no time to react before Orochi slammed into him with the full weight of his bulk, sending Bagan flying through the air. With a mighty crash, Bagan slammed into the earth, stunning the beast. The Hydra charged and pressed his advantage, spewing his flames from 2 of his heads. As he engulfed Bagan with his flames, his other 3 heads blasted lightning from their eyes, striking the fallen form again and again and again, and possibly
And
again.
again, and again, and
And
again, and
hypothetically
again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again.
Bagan shrieked in agony as the lightning and hellfire assaulted his body, roasting his very flesh. Pass.
You got one more.
What? No, that's
Damn
6.
it, Chris.
I kept track this time. 2,
Really?
3, 4. Damn it. Wait, is it?
2.
Oh, dang it. I was wrong.
Oh, I
Okay.
hear you guys again.
You're just
Damn it,
enjoying
Chris.
this. Orochi got closer and closer, never letting up with his searing flames. Bagan couldn't take any more of this. Any longer and it would be the end of him. Pushing past the pain, Bagan rose to his feet and leapt towards Orochi, plunging his snout horn into the Hydra's chest. The flames and lightning instantly stopped as Orochi reared his head back and screamed in pain, pulling away from his foe. Bagan pulled his horn from Orochi's flesh and fired a plasma blast into the wound, eliciting another shriek of agony. Bagan took a step forward, but stumbled, his flesh still cooked. The 2 demons glared at each other, and then they passed.
So I
They
just want to
built-
make note. This is the Bagan from the Bagan trilogy, right?
Yes,
No,
correct.
it's
So
the
is he
Bagan from
still
the
missing
Bagan
his breastplate?
quadrilogy. Completely different.
Joe,
So
you're
is he
up.
still missing his breastplate?
I know. What did you say, Nagoda?
What?
What did you say?
Oh, I asked if Bagan is still missing his breastplate because he
Oh,
never picked that up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But
And I
he
think it's
should still have
regenerated at
his.
this point. So.
He
Possibly.
should. He should still have his sensor bar though. They both knew that one of them was going to die tonight. The two of them charged each other once again, their bodies slamming into each other. Again. Bagan nearly fell back once again, but would not give way to the dragon. Orochi's head snapped at Bagan, biting at its curved head horns. Bagan sent energy charging through his horns, dislodging Orochi's fangs. Bagan shoved back, managing to push Orochi's mountainous body away. Bagan swung around, battering the Hydra with his tail. As Bagan's back was turned, Orochi began firing scarlet bolts from his eyes, once again, covering Bagan's back in explosions. Shrieking in pain, Bagan swung back around, sweeping his plasma breath across the dragon's body. As Orochi reacted to the blast, Bagan leapt forward and clutched two of his necks and sank his claws into them, drawing blood. The two titans pushed against each other, trying to force the other to the ground. Suddenly, a searing beam of golden light washed over the demons, engulfing them in explosions.
As King
The two
Ghidorah
monsters-
appeared to dance over their graves.
No, that's Grand King Ghidorah.
Yes.
No, Grandma King Ghidorah.
Yeah, Grandma.
The two monsters leapt away from each other in pain and surprise as the light exploded around them, eliciting cries of torment from the two. Another blast hit Orochi in the back, causing him to wave his heads around wildly. A third blast hit Bagan square in the chest, right on his sensor bar, and knocked him to the ground.
Well, there goes the sensor bar.
Yeah.
Bagan got back to his feet just as Orochi managed to turn his massive form. The two beasts wanting to see who would dare attack them and interrupt a struggle between the most evil beings on Earth. They were greeted by the armored form of Kamagidon.
Wait a minute.
Something's not right here.
No, it's right.
Okay.
Yes.
A Utsuno I can't fucking
Ikusagami.
Ikusagami.
So,
Okay, got it.
are they gonna know that he was late to the? Is he gonna know that he's late to the battle, like Grey Shot is?
Don't you
He
realize
he never appeared in the other one.
Right, don't you know Utsuno Ikusagami is Gray Shot? This was just back in the early days. In the
Yes.
same way
Yeah.
that Banner is
He
Ultra
appeared
the
in-
Man.
Yes, he appeared and was like, "Hey guys, am I late? Did you guys beat Bagan yet?"
Bagan tilted his head in confusion at the gold and silver warrior, curious to know just what it was. But Orochi knew immediately. He had clashed with this being many times before, or just once. The Hydra immediately opened fire with lightning bolts from his eyes, but the blast merely bounced off of Utsuno's armor. Bagan opened fire with his plasma breath, a superheated blast striking Utsuno directly in the chest. The ancient warrior stayed on his feet, though the blast's force sent him skidding back across the soil. Orochi was not to be denied the pleasure of finishing off his eons-old enemy. and breathed his scorching flames directly into Bagan's face, causing the monster to stumble back, clutching his burnt flesh. Orochi turned and charged the ancient hero, screaming as he went. Utsuno was ready for the attack. Charging energy throughout his body, the holy warrior summoned a pair of bladed golden wings to his back. Just as it seemed Orochi would have him in his grasp, Utsuno leapt backwards into the air, escaping the Hydra. Just as he landed, Orochi opened fire with his hellish flames, and unlike the dragon's lightning, these concerned the armored warrior. Holding his arms out, he summoned forth a shield of blazing blue energy. This stopped Orochi's flames cold, or hot, protecting Utsuno from their wrath, but Orochi refused to give up, continuing to pour his supernatural flame against the shield. Utsuno focused on keeping his shield up as he began to feel the heat emanating from the fire. Suddenly, a white hot blast hit the shield, causing it to detonate with explosive force. The sudden eruption sent Utsuno staggering backward, momentarily shaken by the loss of his shield. Bagan turned his attack on Orochi next, blasting his neck. As the Hydra shrieked in pain, Bagan lunged for Utsuno. Lunged for Utsuno. The mighty protector was still off
pass.
balance. Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, that was 6?
I believe so. 1, 2.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
See, Kaiju X, ruiner of fun.
The mighty protector was still off balance when Bagan attacked. The gray dragon thrust his head forward, slamming his snout horn into Ikusagami's chest, trying to stab his heart. Sparks flew as the spike gasped against the holy armor. Though not impaled, the force of the blow was enough to knock the warrior back as Bagan screamed at how his hands burned from touching something so holy as he was demonic. I lost track, okay? Okay. However, Utsuno Ikusagami was quick to recover and lashed out, grabbing Bagan's head horns in his hands. Grappling the beast for a moment, Ikusagami managed to topple Bagan, wrestling him to the ground. Before he could press his advantage, the two were engulfed in fire. Orochi shrieked evilly as he bathed his two foes in his hellfire, quickly advancing as he did so. He slammed into Ikusagami, knocking him to the dirt. Suddenly, diamond-shaped meteors fell from the sky, assaulting them both. Orochi's diamond storm once again ravaged his body. Sparks erupted each time one of the diamonds hit Ikusagami's armor, denting and scorching it. Bagan rose to his feet and followed up with his plasma breath, blasting one foe after the other. Utsuno Ikusagami knew it was time to bring out the big guns. Lightning crackled over his body, and suddenly there was a sword in his hand. Ikusagami Yes. He turned into King. He turned into Kong right there. Ikusagami prepared to attack as he twirled the mighty weapon, its blade pulsing with holy energy. Striking a pose with the sword, Ikusagami leapt into the air and flew towards Bagan as a mysterious backdrop appeared behind him. The demon prepared to strike, but Ikusagami swung upward, slicing off Bagan's snout horn. I dropped my phone. And recoiled in agony. Orochi came up on Ikusagami from behind. The defender sensed his attempted ambush, however, and spun around, his sword extended. I didn't know swords can extend.
It's a special. Again, in a deleted scene.
Yes.
It doesn't extend, it expands.
Orochi shrieked as another one of his necks was slashed in half, taking him down to 4. Ikusagami returned his attention to Bagan, slashing his sword across the beast's stomach. Bagan slumped over as the energy cut through his flesh and tumbled to the ground, dead. Ikusagami turned around and swiped his sword, cutting off 2 more of the Hydra's heads. That sword must be a pretty good sword. He
Oh,
just
yeah.
he just turning,
Mhm.
slice, turn, slice, turn, slice.
It's like a can opener. You just keep turning and just, except more
Yeah.
heads just keep falling off.
Bagan got back to his feet and fired a blast of his plasma breath at Ikusagami. But the powerful warrior flew into the air, avoiding the blast and allowing it to hit one of Orochi's heads directly in the face, blowing it to pieces, leaving him with only 1 head left, I think. The Crimson Dragon, the Crimson Dragon screamed in pain and rage as it realized it was left with only 1 last head, and I think like 7 other, what's it called, writhing necks going everywhere
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Mhm.
The instant Ikusagami landed, Bagan was on him. Again and again and again, he brought his claws down upon his metal body, intent on crushing it. Ikusagami's armor was strong, but even it could not withstand such an assault for very long. Energizing the blade of his sword, Ikusagami thrust it forward, impaling Bagan's stomach. As Bagan growled furiously, Ikusagami grabbed his shoulder. With a mighty heave, the warrior hoisted Bagan up and tossed him through the air with his sword still stuck in his chest, apparently. With a thunderous crash, Bagan hit the dirt and rolled until he hit Orochi in the face. In his one face. The once multi-headed Hydra looked down at his foe and began to spit his searing flame onto him. Bagan roared and reached up, wrapping his claws around the last neck and
Last
the last
live neck.
live neck and squeezing. That doesn't sound right, doesn't it?
All right, last live neck.
It should be
makes sense.
squeezed, right?
Oh,
Reached up, wrapping his claws around the last live neck and squeezing.
Yeah, I feel like it should be squeezed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
squeeze or squeezes, one of those two.
I feel like it's the proper word.
Maybe.
That's just me.
As the two demonic they are demonic. As the 2 demonic reptiles continued the struggle, Utsuno Ikusagami decided it was time to finish this. Holding out his other hand, he summoned more of his energy and molded it into a spear. The sound of crackling power caught Bagan's attention as he released Orochi's neck to face his other foe. He turned just in time for Ikusagami to hurl his spear at the 2 of them. The weapon pierced Bagan's, his missing armor, his unarmored torso, but didn't
His
stop
sensor
there.
bar.
Yes, his sensor bar, and didn't stop there, launching itself into Orochi's as well. Didn't know Orochi had a sensor bar.
Yep.
The 2 demons screamed as the spear made of Ikusagami's power stuck them together against their will and burned them with its holy light, burning into their flesh. With the 2 monsters at his mercy, Ikusagami flew into the air, the sun-like symbol on his forehead glowing. The golden beam of light shone out of the symbol, blasting Bagan and Orochi I can't think of anything. Okay. Explosions erupted from their bodies as Ikusagami blasted them again and again with the light,
And again,
never letting up. The creatures roared in defiance as the beam's holy energies coursed through their dark bodies, wreaking havoc within. I guess they really are demons, apparently, because demons can't stand holy energy. With
Well,
one final blast. Yeah?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. With one final blast, and both Orochi and Bagan went up in flames, wiped out in a massive explosion that shook the entire area. With the 2 monstrosities destroyed, the mighty warrior twirled his sword, and then let his arms lower to his side. Earth was safe, thanks to Utsuno Ikusagami not arriving earlier when everyone else was dying.
Yeah,
Winner. Ultra Banner.
Not again.
Winner
Not
Utsuno
Baragon.
Ikusagami. Winner
Yes, not
Utsuno
Baragon,
Ikusagami.
unfortunately.
Winner,
Yeah, I think
Utsuno-
Orochi and Ikusagami would have been of great help to both of their respective sides in match 56. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
You heard at the beginning of the
Yeah.
match, Orochi was too scared to go out.
Yeah.
Even though his roommate left to go fight, he was still scared.
Yeah, yeah. Roommate buddy Kumasogami had more balls than he did. Anyway,
And
Yeah,
Utsuno
overall,
Ikusagami was just a couple hours late.
yeah.
this was one series finale for the
Yeah, for the Bagan quadrilogy. Yeah, until there's another alternate ending where Bagan is killed by Destroya.
Now I'm just imagining Orochi popping up back in hell and just seeing Kumasogami just waving hi to him.
Yeah.
Well, technically, didn't wasn't Bagan connected to the one in match 100? Wasn't that the same Bagan?
I
Technically?
don't think so.
Uh,
It's been a while. I don't think that Bagan was connected. I think he was just his own entity. Maybe.
I don't know.
It's been ages since I last hit up 100, and I know I read that one through and through.
Bagan didn't die in this. He just snuck away like he did in the other match where he got up to Iris and killed him.
Another
Yeah,
Baragon.
yeah.
During the
He
explosion.
just tiptoed away.
I was just gonna say another Baragon ate him, but that one works too.
That too. And now Baragon is in this match. And it counts
Oh,
as a
yeah.
loss.
Yeah, totally,
Unfortunately.
totally.
But yeah, so I guess I'll go through like general thoughts. Like I like this. This was like a very cool follow up. It's like very curious to see how they're gonna wrap up the Bagan trilogy.
So is
And-
Bagan a ninja?
Possibly.
Because like
Confirmed.
he shoots fire. He apparently can't die. And he can what's it called? He can morph energy into diamonds. So he's a ninja.
Yep, he's a ninja. It's confirmed.
Absolutely, bag of ninja confirmed. Anyway,
No, I will say again. I like Utsuno Gani's opening. It is kind of like Bagan and Orochi fought themselves, and then Utsuno basically comes in for the win.
Mhm.
Though I do think like if he would have fought from the beginning, I still think he would have got the victory.
Mhm.
But yeah, otherwise, I like the more mystical element that was used here. It's basically like the two old gods fighting, basically a god that was weakened, and yeah, luckily for us, the god of light or the sun or whatever the heck it is, won.
The god of light
Sun
versus
god,
the
yeah.
two gods of darkness.
Yeah, sun god. That's what it is.
Uh-huh. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I kind of like the fact that it's like, how do we continue on from, Bagan fighting a bunch of monsters? He fights two really powerful ones. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I kind of like that sort of follow-up. And yeah, I do kind of I don't mind the victor going to Ikusagami. I think it is just kind of fitting in its own way. But yeah, it's like that was a lot of fun stuff. Nice bit of explosions. Orochi getting a lot of heads cut off and all that fun stuff. So, kind of enjoyed that match while it lasted. I'd say it's a above average one for Christian, I think. Even if it did repeat a lot of words and certain like literature phrases like surprised or ramming into each other or again.
I honestly didn't mind it too much
Yeah.
because again, it was very interesting, and I like the dynamic with Orochi kept losing heads in that regard. I like the built up of Orochi being this creature that was just waiting all this time and finally had his chance for revenge. So
Both
Yeah.
time to strike, his opportunity to strike as opposed to revenge, but yeah.
Yes, he chose now
Yeah.
instead of that time where Bagan was a heart.
yeah. Well, I mean, Godzilla and stuff was there, so how could he strike then?
Right. So, fair
How
point.
did that
And
happen?
Mothra Leo.
yeah.
Yeah, and Martha Leo.
Mhm.
Let's be honest, mostly Mothra but
Yeah, totally.
So clearly it was Baragon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Baragon
So
ate it.
important.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
so important. He wasn't there.
But yeah,
Oh, by the way, I also forgot to mention, very cool. I like the banner. The
oh yeah,
banner is
definitely. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I kind of
Great
like the
banner.
very bluish look to the banner. Like, oh, it just looks very. I don't know. Like, despite the fact that it's like, oh, crap's gonna go down. I like the banner. Like, I like the heavy amount of blues, and I like the fact that it looks like it's a sunset. I think it was a sunset.
listen, after all the reds that we got from the Big N, the last match, this blue is refreshing.
Oh, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. So yeah, it's definitely a nice change of pace in terms of banners. So
Really quick question: how many banners that have Orochi in it also have Mount Fuji in the background? I think wasn't there on the forums someone asked for a
yeah. I think there's another
Gamma versus Orochi
Oh, right. I
with
think
Mount
there's
Fuji in the
another.
background?
Yeah, I think there's another like upcoming Orochi match that's gonna have him at Mount Fuji once again. So
Uh,
How many
no,
Orochi matches are there?
100 is on Monster Island, and that one is not. 166 is that's Shanghai, I believe. Yep. 180, yeah, that's the Mutos. Nope, I think that's San Francisco. 143 is with the Earth and basically fighting over the destruction of Earth would destroy us. That's a no. And 190 is, I think, Japan possibly. I don't think that's Washington D.C. Can we get or not Washington, Mount Fuji? Can we get a confirmation, Andrew?
Wait. Orochi only has 2 matches?
Orochi only
Yeah,
has
he
2
does.
matches so far. Yeah.
Oh,
That-
Orochi. I thought
what?
you meant Bagan.
And not a single
No,
victory.
the other Orochi match is set on like one of Jupiter's moons. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
or Planet X.
Right.
I
I
can't
guess
remember.
that makes
That-
sense.
it's done
He
on
popped up
Planet.
on a moon before.
Yep, they've final fight of Yamato Takeru was on the moon. So
So it makes
Mhm.
sense. He lives on the moon when he gets kicked out by Kumasagami.
yeah, Ikusagami.
he just moves. He's like, I'm just done with this planet.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm living with Kumasagami.
He took a wrong turn to Jupiter and just ended up like, this doesn't look like hell.
It's too cold.
My goodness.
Now, what's this Legion thing?
Oh, right. Anyway, any other thoughts, Joe?
I thought it was a good match and a really good follow up to the Bagan trilogy. And I like the action in this match. It was really, really good. And though the wording did get repetitive, I think the writer used Bagan a lot. But other than a few complaints, it was a good match.
Yeah. Again, it's not a grand finale. It's kind of like the epilogue, essentially, to the
This
Bagan
serves
trilogy.
as a decent
It's a
sort of
good match.
epilogue. It's not trying to be this big, huge, epic match. It's just being itself, which is perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Right, Nagoda.
Nagoda,
would
did you have
say-
anything to add on, or?
I would say this was a good match, and I like how it started off like trying to hype you up for Orochi. Like, this creature was the most fearsome thing in the land. Everyone feared him. His reign of terror was legendary. And then it says, and then there was Bagan. Atmosphere that was created in that paragraph. Other than that, I would say that it was pretty interesting, and Utsuno Ikusagami's sword is really overpowered. Like he just slice, turn, kick back in, slice him in the stomach, turn back to Orochi, slice off more heads. And that was just about a whole paragraph, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. That
kept
sword
cutting
is
them apart.
brutal. That sword is brutal. So.
Oh, that kind of reminds me that apparently the sequel for uh the sequel for Orochi's movie. I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah, Yamato Takeru too.
Yeah, it was I heard.
That was going to have Bagan in it,
Yeah, it
and
was
that the
gonna
two
have
were going to
Bagan in
team
it.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orochi would have returned, and he
Yep.
would have teamed up with Bagan.
Mm-hmm.
But this
I
match.
guess that is.
Oh,
I guess
right.
that is a nice callback
All right.
to it.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, we didn't get this information until recently. This match came out a long time ago, so yeah, this was way before we knew there were plans for Bagan and Yamato Takeru too.
So I'm gonna assume Christian is either a time traveler or he can see into the future.
Well, he sure didn't see Kaiju X and I taking over the KWC, so
Yeah. And by taking over, we just kind of took it from under his nose.
He didn't go that far into the future.
Fair enough. Anyway, that was match 68, and we will see you guys for match 69. Until then, folks.
Ooh.
see you guys then.